Hey everybody, it's Christine with Cocoa Daisy, and I have so many fun things to show you. So many layers, and I know I use layers all the time, but it's one of my favorite things. Lots and lots of things that you can do with the stamp sets this month. If you're into travel, if you're into summer, I've got a ton of stamps. In fact, settle down, pause, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, because, or your favorite cocktail, if you're watching this in the evening. I have a lot of stamp sets. There were, these are from the July Where the Sea Dreams collection, and we had 2 extra stamp sets and the travel stamp set from the travel kit, because I couldn't stop myself because there were so many awesome stamps. We ended up with a lot of them. So I'm going to dig in. I'm going to go through these, but yeah, settle down because it's going to take more than a minute for me to get through them. I'm going to show you a little technique. I'm going to go over, we have a great die set that works with some of these stamps and from a previous stamp set. So I'll go through all of that. Before I move on to the examples, let me show you the inks that I used. I tried to stay within a palette that works with the collection, but obviously you can add more blues to these if you want, more greens. I used the Stamp Market Umber, the Pink Fresh Sky Blue, the Stamp Market Lagoon, and Sage. Of course, my favorite for black VersaFine. And then these I got when I went to the stationery show, and I don't really know the actual colors of these, but there's a really nice navy, a green, and the brand name is, and I'm sure that I'm not saying this correctly, but Chihata, maybe? But anyway, that's the brand name right there. You can get these, I believe Jet Pens has them, Everyday Explorers has them. I'm going to look into getting them because they're really quite fabulous. And then there's a pretty lighter blue as well. So that was what I used for everything that you see here. The first collection that I'm going to show you, this is an a la carte stamp set. This is the one, I believe this one is called Unplug and Unwind. So this is an a la carte stamp set. You can actually order this right now, or you can add it to your subscription via your portal if you are a subscriber, and it will ship with your kit. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you some fun ideas that I use with that. And a couple just kind of housekeeping notes about our stamps that I want to mention. All of our stamps are made in the US. They are photopolymer, so they're non-yellowing. They're very intricate. They're amazing quality. And all of our stamps come in a stamp sleeve for storage. So unlike a lot of our competitors that just ship them in a plastic sleeve that's just a packaging that isn't very sturdy, or, tears, and, you can't really store them in that. All of ours come with a backer card and a storage sleeve. So just a little side note on that. All right. So the Unplug and Unwind stamp set. There is this beautiful large net, which I think is so fun to layer with. So I did some layering with that, with all of the great little sea and ocean bits. There's a crab, there's a couple seashells, a starfish, and then this beautiful coral. And so you can see where I did that, where I layered some with the crab, some with the coral and the seashells. And then you can go ahead and add on top some of the sayings. This one I thought was perfect for layering with a little bit of foam adhesive. So I stamped the netting and then added the crab, and then stamped this on just a piece of Nice plain extra white cardstock, which I will mention, this white cardstock, it comes in our scrapbooking kit, and I love that. So you always have a couple sheets of that if you get the scrapbooking kit. I cut that out, little foam adhesive, and how cute would that make for a card, an embellishment on a layout? I did the calm and cool just with the coral and the crab, added the little real life. I love that one with the adventure. Again, layered this one down here a little bit differently. And then the time to travel. And then that unplug and unwind is so cute, layered over top of the time to travel and the relax. Then what I did, I took the long adventure and I played around with this unplug and unwind in different ways of putting that on top, on the side. And again, I talk about this every single month, and I will continue to talk about it because I think it's very important that if you've done stamping forever, if you're new to stamping, it doesn't matter. When you get a stamp set, especially a new stamp set, get some scrap paper and play. Grab some colors and play, and just figure out how you like to use those stamps, the colors you like, the way that they work together, and just have fun with it. That's the purpose of it. Sometimes if you only have a few minutes and you want to be creative, grab a stamp set that you just got that you haven't had a chance to use and just play with it. It will spark your creativity. It will give you inspiration. And it's just a great way to even unwind. I just enjoy stamping for the process that it is and combining colors and all of that. And it's a fun thing to do. And the lovely thing about stamping, there's no bulk. So no matter what kind of planner or journal you use, stamping is perfect for that because it's just beautiful inks on paper. And even if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. That's what stamping's all about. So you can see here where I just started playing with this word, or the adventure one. I added the unplug and unwind on the top, on the side. And then I thought, well, we're using the same font, kind of the same setup for the time to travel. What if we added that with it and just kept expanding it? So I did time to travel on top of adventure, added the unplug and unwind, the little seashell underneath, and I thought that was really cute. And then I thought this was kind of neat going off of the page. So you can do that, you just mask it. When you stamp, you just put a scrap piece of paper underneath and you'll get that same kind of idea where you can layer like that, but it just goes off the page. And then, so I'm going to show you something here in a minute. I want to actually create a little something fun. So then I wanted to show you the examples of this cute little banner set that is in the deluxe journaling kit. And so here's the banner, and then you have each of the words will fit in that banner. Of course, you can stamp the banner just on its own, write something in if you want. You could stamp the banner, you could fill it in with some beautiful watercolor or colored pencil or a highlighter, a marker, whatever, and then stamp over top of it too. So you can totally do that. You could do a little fancy shading on there with a colored pencil. So a lot of fun with that. So what I'm going to do, I want to show you, and then after I did that, and this comes from play, right? From having fun and trying things, I thought of an idea to combine these two sets. And I thought, well, I will actually show you that. So I'm going to use the Lagoon here, and I'm going to use the Adventure stamp. And I apologize if this isn't perfect because I'm going at an angle here, and I usually get right over top of my stamps when I stamp, but we'll try. So if I stamp this one down, and then I'm going to take my scrap piece of paper, and let's go with the navy color I'm going to take my little banner and I'm going to stamp that on my scrap piece of paper. And then I'm going to take this same lagoon color, and I'm going to do daily journal. So let's assume you have a travel journal or even just a regular daily journal, but you're going on vacation, right? How fun would it be to do this? So I have that stamped, and then I'm going to, now normally I would let this sit for a minute before I start handling it like this, just because I don't want it to smear. These inks dry pretty quickly, but I just prefer to let it sit just for a minute. So if it smears a little bit, I apologize. And I also don't have my glasses on right now. So I don't know how perfect this is going to be. So, but that's all right. You get the idea, and that's what is important. And then what you can do is you could use foam adhesive, or you could use just regular adhesive, and I would pop that right over top. How cute is that? So you could layer that on a page, and you can put it there, you can put it at the top. I kind of like it right here, because you still understand that that's the word adventure, and then you have the daily journal. And I think that turned out super cute. So again, it's another way to combine your stamps and layer them and make it work for you. So your adventure and then daily journal. And the one thing I will mention also, if you don't travel, I still think that these stamp sets are perfect, because I look at it like life is an adventure, having children is an adventure, all of those different things. A new, if you've gotten married recently, if you've gotten grandkids, all of those, episodes or times in your life are all adventures. In fact, when Jeff and I got married almost 8 years ago, I did our wedding album using a travel themed kit, because I thought it was a great new adventure that we were going to start on. And I love that idea. So just kind of think outside the box too, with the theme as well. All right, so some more. I'm going to move on, because like I said, we have a lot. All right, next up is this stamp set. And this Fun in the Sun stamp set, this is part of the scrapbooking kit. This is a 3x4 stamp set, and again, they all come, I'm not showing you all in the sleeve just because I have them all out, but they do all come in the sleeve. So this set has some more of the beautiful coral. This is a different crab. So you have a different little guy. This little guy has a little less to him. He's a little bit smaller. What I love is you could combine these two and have even more scenes that you could make. It would just be so much fun. Now, of course, my favorite is the little anchor. So I did some of the same ideas as far as layering those pieces of coral or seagrass, our cute little seahorse here, the little crabby, some of the sayings with the anchor, layering those on top that way. I love the summer holidays, Fun in the Sun, and then the little anchor. The circle, you could actually put that little anchor in the middle there like I did here. I thought that turned out really, really cute. And almost using that circle like a seal. I thought that was fun. Did that there and there. And then here I cut it out. You could probably punch it with a circle punch if you didn't want to cut it out. And raised that with a little bit of foam adhesive. Now I do want to mention, and I don't have an example of it, but the seahorse from this stamp set works with this die. So these two do work together. I would die cut it first and then stamp it. And we have another stamp set coming up with the anchor that works with this anchor as well. And then I also want to mention something fun. If you've been with Cocoa Daisy for a while, there's an older stamp set, and I can't remember if this is last year or the year before, but this and this work with this. So it's kind of fun. You can use this with the older stamp set as well. So just a little bit our way of making it a little more versatile. Check out my project video for the scrapbooking kit, which will show you how I used these on a layout too. I have not played with this one yet. Can't wait to do that. So, all right, we are going to move on to the next one. And the next one is this stamp set. This is probably my favorite because it's super graphic, and I love labels like this. I think they're so fun. They're great to just add on a page or add on a card. These designs are so intricate and so detailed, and because the stamps are made so well, all of that detail shows up. I will say, if you're using an ink like a distress ink, you're not going to get this crisp of an image, because the distress inks are meant to be a little more watery and not as crisp. The Stamp Market inks, the VersaFine inks, those work way better on intricate designs like these. I mean, you can see even down to right here where it says premium quality. That is tiny print, but it shows up beautifully with these stamps. So I stamped all of them in black just to show you how beautiful that they do stamp. And then I went through and I showed how you could layer the nice graphic lighthouse with some of them over top. You could do the lighthouse with the compass next to it. I did the compass behind a few of the other ones, and I just think they turned out great. I mean, I absolutely love these. Then for fun, because y'all know I love octopi, love to have an octopus, I went back and again grabbed one of our older stamps. I took this little guy right here and I stamped him, and then I layered the Evil Kraken Authentic Navy over top of that one, and I thought that was so fun. So, and all of these older themed travel stamps or sea or ocean stamps, you can totally mix and match this stuff from your stash. But I thought that turned out super cute. I'm definitely using that in my my memory keeping. All right, and then moving on to the, let's see. Oh, and sorry, I did not mention, this stamp set is another one of the a la carte stamp sets. So you can purchase this separately. You can purchase this right now on the website, or you can add it to your subscription via your subscriber portal if you want it to ship with your subscription. So you can do that as well. So you can grab that one. Now this one is the stamp sub. So this one, you need to subscribe to our stamp subscription to get this one. And this one, super fun, has this whole postage stamp type of theme. So let me make sure I've got that in frame so that you can see it. Yes. So the idea behind this one is you can build these little scenes in this postage stamp. Obviously you can use them all on their own, but it's really fun to do that. And you can see how I did that here. I did the frame with the larger palm tree next to it, added the cool summer in there. This one is with the smaller palm tree, the sailboat, and the anchor. And then you can see I started to even add more stuff. So you have the sailboat with the saying, and then that Hello Summer, which again is more like almost like a label that you can add on there. And then this one, I added the summertime memories on the top and the bottom of the little anchor. This is the anchor, by the way, that works with the die set. And that is how adorable that looks when you can see here, I stamped the palm tree with the label, and then I did the die cut using the metal dies of that little anchor and used a little foam adhesive with that there. This one, I added 2 of the sayings. I did the sea air and the you and me on top of the sailboat. Really cute. And then I did the real life with the palm tree. Now this little circle has the this is the life, which I love that. And then it has this little scene inside. I wanted to add the little scene, but without those, the circle, the words. So what I did is I stamped it on a scrap piece of paper. I cut that middle out because that's the only part I wanted to show. I laid this down where I wanted it to go, and then I stamped over top of it. And then you pull your little mask away, and the only thing you have left is that part of the stamp. And that works really, really well. You can see I did the 2 of those here. I did the real life over the anchor, the real life with the little palm tree, and then the little palm tree with the cool summer. And then to take it a step further, I wanted to show you the card that I made using this stamp set. So I did the palm trees, I stamped them twice on some plain white cardstock. I stamped them in green and I stamped them in brown. I cut out the green of the palm fronds, and then I layered that with some adhesive over top of the trunks. That way you get those 2 colors, you get that great dimension. I added the little stamped image here of the sailboat with the summer as a state of mind, and then added the anchor, another one of the anchor die cuts. I punched a hole in the top there, and then added the string. I stamped the Hello Summer on there. And then to go even farther and add more fun, we have an anchor wax seal stamp head. You can purchase this in the store right now as well. And I added, I made one of those, and then I just used some adhesive and attached it to the envelope. I thought that was super cute. And these are not glitter dots. So when you melt the wax, you can pour little beads of it and actually create your own little wax, or they almost look like enamel or glitter dots on there. So I did that as well. Then I took it even a step further, and I thought, if I just went crazy layering all of the things, what would it look like? And this goes back to when I talked to you about playing, right? And I think this is one of my absolute favorite stamps, or, you know, images that I created, or collages, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. I love this. So I started with the cool summer, and then I noticed you have this little space here. It kind of dips down. Well, the summer is a state of mind, fits in there perfect. So I did that. And then I liked this color combo, and I'm like, okay, well, the you and me is the same fonts as that. So I put that there. And then the Summertime and Memories is real similar to the Cool Summer font. It may even be the same. I don't have my glasses on. So I stamped the Summertime Memories. So far I've used this stamp, this one, and this one. I've used 4 stamps right here. Then I noticed there's this little space here. I added the tree. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute, but I want more color. So then I took the Hello Summer and I stamped that over top there. And it just turned out so stinking cute. And you could just keep going, right? You could just keep adding more and more if you wanted. But I thought that turned out really, really cute. So I'm definitely keeping this. And that's the other thing, when you play with stamps like this, get a binder and save all of the examples you make. Then when you pull that stamp set out, if you're kind of stuck, like, I did something cool with it, but I don't remember, you can flip through those pages and you can pull that up. I do that all the time. And then you have reference. So just get an inexpensive binder from the dollar store, Target, or whatever, and save all of the examples that you play with. So that's a great way to do that too. So this was, like I said, the stamp subscription. The only way you can get this one is by signing up for the subscription. And I think those are available right now. Okay, then this stamp set, which I am in love with this. This is the travel kit. We have a limited edition travel kit. You can, if you are a subscriber, you can throw that in. You can throw that in with your subscriptions to ship in the portal. If you are a subscriber, you can order that. Or you can actually go online and pre-order this right now as well. We do have some available. It won't ship right away. It will ship out the beginning of next month. But so you'll have to wait a little bit, but you can go ahead and pre-order it and grab it. And I am thrilled to say that this stamp set was designed by Liz of Paislee Press. She did this for us, and I love her work. I love the graphic stamp sets that she makes, and so I'm really, really happy. We're definitely going to have more of her stuff, so be waiting for that. She designed this, and this is in that travel kit, so you get this stamp set with the travel kit. And let me show you, I want to first of all show you, this was what she sent me as some examples, and they're just fantastic. I love the color palette she used here as well. So it's just kind of nice for you to see what the designer intended, right? I think that's fantastic, and the colors that she used. And then let me show you some, I did some of the same things that she did, but let me show you some of the ideas that I came up with. So this is meant to be used kind of as a postcard or a stamp. So you kind of have this small little postcard here. You can use just this and then it looks more like a stamp. But when you use it in conjunction with the destination, it becomes this great little postcard. And we even have the little thing that says postcards from. You have your little, and you guys always remind me, and I always forget what these things, but like the little cancellations, right? They look like when it runs through the post office. That's really cute. And then you can layer all of these bits and pieces together to create these fun little images. I love the little palm trees that you can use. And then like the Paradise Found, this view there, you can keep it very simple. I've got the sun, sand, and sea with the little waves on there. I've got the palm trees here with the en route to, and the journey is the destination. Here I added it with the little waves and the collecting souvenirs, the little wander more. And then you have this great arrow. And if you've watched any of my past design or project videos, I always talk about how much I love arrows because they direct your eye. They add small labels to things. And so she has all of these small little sayings. This is the place, we are here, last day here, on our way, love this, sun, sea, sand, and sea. And they all fit in this arrow. The camera will fit in the arrow, as will the little seashell. I didn't try the glasses, but I'm sure that they may as well. So you could turn these into die cuts. Great. This is a fantastic set if you have a travel journal. So fun for that. And then just layering the little glasses, layering the sayings with the little camera, layering them together with the glasses and a saying and another saying and an arrow, right? So many different ways that you can layer all of those together. I liked how I did kind of the tone on tone and stamped the trip over top of that little postcard. You have the Paradise on there as well. And then I kept going because there's so many things you could do. I took the arrows and didn't stamp anything in them and layered them here. So I have the Paradise Found, trip, and then adventures. Again, there's a whole nother look at that idea of a postcard or a stamp set, layering all of that together. I love that little word, the wander more. That is so fun. Again, another arrow here with this hidden gem and the camera and the journey. The other thing I wanted to mention, the seashell you can use those individually or together. You can layer them. So one you could put over top of the other for the detail, and then the inside color. You can see I did that here on that. It works in the little collecting souvenirs circle, or you can see I did it here and here. I love that little collecting souvenirs over top of that. That worked really well. And then creating that whole postage stamp look. And then this I thought was kind of cute because it's sun, sand, and sea. So I have sun via the sunglasses, sand via the seashell, which would be on the sand, and then sea, the little waves. So I thought that was kind of cute. And then I put adventures, just kind of a little play on words and images there. So that is a look at all of the stamp sets, the die set, the wax seal, lots and lots of fun. So get out some scrap paper, play, save those ideas in a binder. I think that's a great way to use them. And as always, hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment. That's so good for our algorithm. Get the word out about Cocoa Daisy. We love when you do that. Share this video with a friend. Have a stamping party. Have a friend over. Bring your stamps, bring your ink colors, and just play and have fun. Make some tags, make some cards. So many fun things you can do. But if you have any questions, leave them down below. I love when you do that. If you have any comments, I love that as well. Let me know what you're enjoying, what your plans are with any of these stamp sets, and I will talk to you next month.